Money FM 89.3, the best of Saturday mornings. Saturday morning sit down.
We are joined in the studio to talk about something that probably most of you that are listening that are in Singapore have witnessed, but is the SG60 Heart and Soul experience happening at the Orchard Library on level 3 and 4 at Orchard Gateway. Joining us in the studio to talk about it, the person who created it, who was behind it, Jean Tan, the Executive Creative Director for the SG60 Heart and Soul Experience. Also in studio with us, Keen Lim, the Project Manager for Technology at Accenture, and Nishan Shirazi, the Senior Animation Producer at Crave FX. Nishan can talk to us about the creative development process, and Keen can talk about the use of key considerations in developing this immersive experience. But first, let's start with Jean Tan. Jean, give us an overview of the Heart and Soul experience if somebody hasn't been down there to see it.
Hi, Glenn, and hi, Neil. And Neil has been there. Yeah, Neil has been there. I hope you like it, Neil. Did you like it, Neil?
I absolutely loved it. I loved it for many reasons, which you'll get into, Jean. Firstly, that I'm in it. But give us an overview. What is
twice.
Yes. Am I in it twice? Okay. What is the SG60 Heart and Soul experience?
Back to the experience.
Yes, back to the experience and later to Neil. Yeah, so the SG60 flagship event, Heart and Soul, is about creating a peek into the future. But because it's called Heart and Soul, you also get to walk into the past. The difference between this and I think many exhibitions around the world that are huge productions, multi-sensory, immersive is, on top of all those things, we wanted to personalize your experience. So you literally see the piece of the future that is likely to be most resonant with you.
That's a big order.
It is, and I don't think... okay, this is a huge statement, and I might be wrong. I might be called out for fake news, but I have been to Osaka. I went to the World Expo. I went to the Museum of the Future in Dubai. I've been to several of these installations, almost every single Team Lab installation in Japan. Yeah. And I would have to say that personalization of a personal experience has never been done at this scale.
No, it's extraordinary. And just for benefit of our listeners who haven't been there yet, put the listener in the shoes of a visitor. What happens from the moment you walk in? Because it is quite extraordinary. I mean, without giving everything away, they want to be surprised, but give a sense of what happens.
Yeah, so there are 3 levels to the experience, 4, 3, and 1 of Orchard Gateway and Central. So when you enter, you speak to a digital librarian who will ask you all sorts of wonderful questions. You get to take some photos, create your avatar, which my dear friend Keen can talk about, because we have created a very interesting game environment of the future that you'll walk into. And we also, before you see the future, we insisted that you do a 6-minute history of Singapore. And this is something that my dear friend Nishan did beautifully. It's a condensed history of Singapore that apparently a lot of kids like. Because it's better than 2 years of social studies, I think.
So it's 700 years of Singapore in 6 minutes?
Awesome. Yes. Thank you for saying 700 years.
Actually closer to 8, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I love you for that, because we did the bicentennial. And what's here? The bicentennial.
We did.
So after that, after the 6 minutes tip of the hat to the past, you get into this big environment called Windows in the Sky.
Okay.
And that is almost like it's like the tour de force of Heart and Soul. So this is where you see yourself and everyone who's in that room with you, 25 at the time, walking in the future of Singapore in the game environment.
Wow. Literally see yourselves.
Literally.
On the screen. Yeah.
Literally see yourself walking and then at the end of all that, I'm not going to go into that part because there's a big reveal. There's a big reveal. And I told Neil, I think Neil has forgiven me, because I pilfered the idea from the Sistine Chapel. I'm not sure he did it well, but it was pilfered.
You wouldn't be the first one to steal an idea from the Sistine Chapel.
If you're going to steal from the best.
There you go.
Right?
And steal from history.
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amazing. Yep.
Okay, so let's bring in, we'll start with Keen. Tell us about your role, what you did, and what your contribution was.
Sure. I'm the project manager from Accenture. I was responsible for the technology bit plus the whole integration of how the visitor's experience, starting from the registration process, all the way to the digital librarian, and that carries on forward through the location, right? Location tracking, of which that's done by the audio guide, to the small windows, and finally Call Me in the Future, where you see the future of yourself.
What were some of the challenges?
The key challenges, I guess, we face, there were multitude of problems. Lip syncing was kind of an issue for the digital librarian. So getting the words uttered and synced, right, to the digital librarian that you see was a challenge initially, because these are powered by Gen AI. So we cannot predict what the Gen AI would actually throw out.
Got it.
So getting the lips to sync with the words that were uttered was initially a challenge.
Yeah, Glenn and I have problems with that in real life.
Yeah, pretty much on a daily basis, certainly here on the weekends. But yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can you help us in the future if we come to Accenture and, maybe you guys can... Never mind. Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Keen. Nishan Shirazi, let's bring you in and talk about the creative development process. So far, what Gene has described and Kian has described, it seems like just a tech challenge. I was going to say a tech nightmare, but it's not a nightmare. It's a good thing, but just a massive challenge to integrate all of these various elements to this. So how did you design it? What did you have to do to figure it out?
Hi, yes. There were like a few challenges, especially with this scale, working with like various partners. So one of the things that we had to consider was that the whole show is centered around the audio guide. So this is the main thing that you have all of your audio and all of your different experiences channeled through. So it's all time synced to your session that you sign up for. So a lot of the things that we had to consider was if we changed something, we had to make sure that it's aligned with the rest, and we cannot do big timing changes at the start.
Like what, for example? Give us an example.
If let's say you wanted to, I think this part needs to be a bit longer so that it's more receptive to the audience. Then it's like, we have to make that decision now before we go on later, and it affects a lot of people. So it's a time-consuming process. So we are going to make sure that we make the right decisions at the right time. But we're very fortunate that everyone in the team was very collaborative, and they gave us as much advice as we needed so that we can make the right call. Yeah. And in terms of the design process, I think we used a lot of different tools and software that we had, from like After Effects to Unreal. So Windows in the Sky, which is I think one of the jewels of this whole experience, uses Unreal real-time rendering. So some of the considerations were that because we wanted to bring the audience to see themselves in the future, we had to use real-time rendering so that you really see yourself. It's not a pre-rendered video that anyone can just see in a different exhibition. It's really catered to your whole experience. So when we designed the whole place, and on a very massive screen, I hope this isn't spoilers to anyone. Hope you can go and see it.
No, say massive. Say really massive.
Really massive screen. Yeah. So one of that is also the hardware behind it. To create the visuals on real time on a huge screen is something that was a bit of a challenge, but we've managed to find a way to kind of make it it can look as best as it can, but give you the full experience as well.
I have to say, Nishan, your older version of me is way better than I think I'm actually going to look. I mean, it's a very It was a very complimentary look at how I'm going to look in the future. So thank you for that. This is very impressive.
Welcome.
Yeah, very good.
AI does hallucinate. So
it
let's
does
just say that
hallucinate.
right now.
It does go off on tangents.
Yeah.
But Gene, what I really like, bringing it back to you, what I really like about the Heart and Soul experience is that you focus on people. I mean, as I do in my writing and my books, I'm very much into social studies, social history. Yes, we've done the whole third world to first world thing many, many times, and the Singapore Stone and Lee Kuan Yew and all of that. We know that story inside out. This is the first time I've really seen a Singaporean exhibition that focuses on the people, which I think is fabulous. What was the thinking behind that?
Before that, I just had to say that Neil became Tim Roth.
That is true.
It was
that
so
makes sense.
weird. I was like, that's Tim Roth, that's not Neil.
There you go. That does make sense, actually.
Sorry, Neil. But will you please, Neil?
I was very pleased.
You're very pleased?
I'm happy to be Tim Roth.
That's Tim Roth, yeah. Yeah,
Why
in
would I not?
Kafka.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
so anyway, other than Tim Roth, by the way, can I just do a shout out? They can't be here today.
Sure.
It's the creative director Beatrice Chia Richmond and
Yep.
also the content director Michael Chiang. They're not here in Singapore, but they were fantastic in this. Just want to do a shout out to them.
Sure.
Sure.
And then the question was about personalizing, yes.
No,
So
the-
I think
making it more about the people, about Singaporean
it was,
people.
and I wanted to not have the giants of history be so evident or the giants of government agencies be so evident. So in the 6-minute history, it was narrated by people who lived through it. And these people were not, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew and stuff like that. There was a clip of a radio speech by him, but that was it. It was narrated by people who lived through the 1800s and 1900s and so on and so forth.
You have found somebody who lived through the 1800s
No, we
to
did
narrate
not, but we got the actual letters. No, we couldn't do the voice recording. So we had an actor, but the letter that they read out was actually from the 1800s.
Because if you're going to say you found somebody from 700 years ago that did the narration for you, I was going to be a little bit skeptical. I was going to be honest with you.
That would be Twilight. That would
right?
be heart and soul.
Exactly.
Yeah, a new chapter of Twilight. But that was very important for us
Yeah.
to ensure that we personalize both the future as well as the past.
It's a good time to pause and say we have 10 pairs of tickets for our listeners to attend this Heart and Soul experience. All you have to do is reach out to us on our WhatsApp, 65-8855-0893. If you're in Singapore, obviously, 10 pairs of tickets. I think the question should be, where is this located?
Perfect.
Yep.
Couldn't be easier.
Yeah. Where is the Heart and Soul experience exhibit located in Singapore?
And if you keep listening, we'll tell you in a minute anyway.
So there you go.
We're going to make it easy for you. So keep listening.
Get on WhatsApp because we got 10 pairs of tickets for you to go and see it. All right, let's go back to Keen. Keen, when you look at the sort of the technology of this immersive experience and you look at how people can talk to their future selves, like how were you trying to design that in a way that would really draw people in?
Yeah. I think it requires a lot of refinement, and a lot of it pivoted around getting the aging process right. So we had challenges initially.
We're still doing it.
We're still doing it.
Yeah.
We're still fine-tuning it. But one of the main challenges is getting the aging process right?
Yeah.
Identifying Southeast Asian, right? Someone's of a certain race shouldn't,
Correct.
become somebody else.
And I know you're skirting around it, so I'll just say it. It is challenging, isn't it?
It
Because
is.
different races age in different ways. And I remember Jean on the day being very apologetic because I think you didn't have blonde hair or something.
Yeah,
I haven't had blonde hair since I was 6 months
blonde
old,
hair,
Jean, but
yeah.
I was very flattered that you thought I should have blonde hair. I got white hair if I got any hair. But
I'm sorry, I'm colorblind. I thought you're blonde, Neil.
when I was a baby, not now. But so it must be challenges like that, coming back to the point, Gene. You've got to do with aging, skin tone, hair colour. And I won't use the word sensitive, but these are issues you have to think about seriously.
Yep. And you mentioned a great point on sensitivity. And part of it was also a deliberate decision to have this all hosted in a secured data center. And these pictures that you have taken of yourself as well will be purged.
You're very, very careful.
I was going to
with that.
ask you about that. Maybe any of you can bring that in because we give our names, we give our faces. I mean, these are hackers' dreams, aren't they? To have someone's name, age, facial recognition. So what is the data plan for that?
Maybe I'll jump
Yeah.
in. So we're very careful with data. And if you realize, if you go on the booking platform, the only information that we get that's kind of personal, it's your email. Your name could be any name, right? We don't require your full name. And that's about it. We don't have your mobile number. And the next sensitive thing is, of course, the pictures that we take of the visitor during the experience itself. So we don't keep these data, and all of this data is purged the day itself.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let's, Nishan, we're going to give you the last word here. We're running out of time a little bit, but talk to us about what you are hoping, as you were designing this and now that you've put it together, what are you hoping the experience will be like for people? What will the UX be, or what will the feeling be that those who participate in this come away from the exhibit?
Well, I think one of the main things that we wanted people to, take away from it was because the whole point is that aside from seeing 6 minutes of history of Singapore, you get to see a potential future of Singapore. And one of the things that we had to consider when creating and showing these future technologies is something real, right? We based it off of upcoming technologies that Singapore is developing and such. So I hope that when visitors come and see a future of Singapore, they feel a bit more assured. In current times, things are not you're not very sure of what the future may hold. And last time, we were always told, the future has flying cars or robots everywhere. But now, actually, in normal shopping malls and all, you do see robots. And in the future, we are starting to develop things that will help everyone.
Not flying cars, though.
Not flying cars. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Gene, just a quick recap for our listeners. How long is it on for? Give us a quick details of the exhibition.
End of December, 31st December. And it's at Orchard, Gateway and Central.
Nice.
That's nice. See what they did there? See what they did there? Very good. Very good.
That was the answer to our quiz question as well.
If you haven't already entered, please do.
Yeah. 10 pairs of tickets. Hey, thank you very much for doing that. And we all should get down there and have a look at it. I can't wait to go and see it. Sounds just absolutely brilliant. Congratulations on a technology, but also a human accomplishment, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful work.
Thank
Beautiful
you guys.
work.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so much for having
having us.
us.
Thank you very much, and we will look forward to having you back to hear how it all went in the end, after all. And that is our Saturday morning sit-down conversation, part 1. Stay with us. We got much more coming up.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.